Welcome to the Trojan Advisory. My name is Ashley Porter.
I'm Willow Hunter. I'm Helena Ballou.
I'm Anaya Phillip.
And we are Mass Comm seniors. Today we have a couple tips and tricks on getting through college and your freshman, sophomore, or even junior year. So let's get into it.
Hey, before we get started, I just want to let y'all know, even though college here was filmed here, college is nothing like the movie.
I feel like we were always told, or shown what it should be like or what it is like, but once we got here, we all had our own individual experiences, but we all know that it's nothing like the movies, nothing like the shows. You gotta make the most of it.
Yeah, college is definitely a place where you'll learn a lot of things about yourself, and while you're doing that, you have to also remember who you were before you got here. It's a balance. So yeah, don't come to college and just throw your college career away. It's not the movies.
Of course, some fun or something you think is fun or something that you think is gonna
It'll
benefit
be
you.
plenty of parties.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You'll have plenty of time after college to grow up. I promise. The next one, next tip I have is group projects are a test of patience. Dealing with different work ethics. Truly. Yeah, I was talking to a friend, and I was telling her that I was having this issue with a class right now where, I'm doing, or me and a classmate is doing most of the work, and we're getting short-ended by another individual classmate. And so we just had to reach out to the teacher and let her know, or professor and let her know, hey, he's not really doing his part. It's 2/3 of the group is doing their part, but that 1/3 is really just not getting there. So, yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, and don't burn yourself out trying to make it work or think that you can't snitch or inform your teacher of what's going on, because at the end of the day you don't want to burn yourself out at the end of the day, because you still have a whole group that you're supposed to rely on. Everybody's supposed to hold their end and do what they're supposed to do. So,
and just because you feel like you can handle everything, imagine having 8 classes and having projects in 3 classes. Are you going to take the lead in every class? Just ask yourself that, because it'll get to that point.
That's a real question.
To build relationships and not just a resume, as far as professors, staff, peers. I feel like personally, at first I didn't. I was really shy when I first came to school, so it was I didn't really step out of my shell. But once I started to develop those relationships with professors and stuff like that, you don't know how far that could take you. The connections is really who you know and networking, and I feel like that's really important.
I wasn't very shy, but I was more so let me get this degree and get out of here. But things happened, and I had professors that I can run to, and their doors were always open, and they made sure that I came out on top. So I just say, communicate with your professors. Sometimes they might have opportunities for you that you don't know that you may need.
So agree. It's all really important to connect with your professors, because they will have your back in good times and bad times, and they'll look out for you, and they'll give you advice that you won't always get in your classes. And I've learned that it's been really helpful throughout my 4 years here.
Another tip I have is not everyone's your friend. This reigns true till this day. Not everyone here is going to be or have your best interest at heart, honestly. It's up to you to recognize and have discernment and know who is there for you and who won't be. I'd say, honestly, turn to a mentor rather than a friend. At least you know your mentor has, your best interest, or, wants to see you grow and get out of here, versus some people just don't have your best interest in college. It is what it is. I wish I could sugarcoat it any further, but...
You wish we could sugarcoat it, but it's a hard reality. And piggybacking off of what you said about mentors, I also encourage you when you come to try to see, because we have they just brought it back up, it was big sister, little sister. Now we have different mentor programs where you could come in, that way you could get assigned to somebody, get to know them, and then through that person you can keep growing and they'll help you out. I feel like that's a good way too to come into college and to flourish.
Yeah, that's a good resource.
I got one more point. The people that you come in with is not going to be the people that you leave with. I tell you that. It could be a group of 8 of y'all, and you'll probably end up the only one left. But don't let that discourage you from getting your job done. I encourage everyone to get internships outside of school. In your senior year, you're going to need an internship. They don't tell you that either. But I encourage you to have internships prior to your senior year just so you can get a feel for what you like and what you dislike. I had an internship and it made me realize how much I hate the path that I was going down in entertainment. So I had to shift gears and really like focus up like, hey, this is not what I want to do anymore. It's time to test things out. It's better to get that out the way prior than to be a senior and not know what you want to do. Because then that'll be bad.
I think we're on our 4th or 5th point, and this point says that financial aid isn't always enough. Truth be told, it isn't, and this point lists hidden costs like, books, housing, fees, and food, etc. Having a job in college is hard, yes, but sometimes you might have to sacrifice the hard things to be able to get through, all the way. Yeah, stay afloat. The point I have is that your major might change, and that's okay. I remember coming to college and being unsure if I wanted to do mass comm or not, and that was mostly off of other people's opinions and not mine. I knew for a long time that I wanted to do mass comm. I always was into photography and talking about the world and things like that and journalism, and so I knew that was what I wanted to do. But sometimes people feel stuck, and they feel like they can't find their path, and they feel like that the major, they chose might make them stuck in life or make them feel stuck in college and things like that. And it's okay to realize that you might have wanted that thing, but maybe that's not what you want right now, and that's completely fine. I think it's up to you to realize and to grow and to see like, hey, this might be a hobby versus, something I actually want to pursue in life. And then you think, okay, well, what do I want to pursue in life? What is my end goal? And yeah, it might take you, your first year of college to finally figure out what you want to do, but get that in your first 2 years. Do not wait till your 4th or 3rd year, or even your 2nd year, and say, hey, I'm 2 years into my major and I don't want to do it anymore. And that's why you take that look when you first get here. Do not let others' opinions be the reason that you're stuck. Yeah.
A point that I have is to protect your time and your peace. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that ties into mental health as well, because it all adds up. I feel like you can learn to say no and set boundaries, especially like with friends or, with people like that, because being on college is fun, like we said. You're going to have your fun, but at the end of the day, you're here for a reason.
Another point we have is reinvent yourself. College is that space where you will get to learn who you are to the max. You will only have time to learn who you are and to get your degree. And yeah, you will learn who you are to the max, whether that's growing and realizing who you were isn't who you are now. Being outside of your safe space, which would be your home, with your mom, your dad, your family, whatever. It definitely puts you in some uncomfortable situations, but some situations where you'll have to seek guidance in yourself. Your people are not going to be able to hold your hand from home and things like that, and so college is that space where you come and reinvent yourself, find yourself, figure out who you are. At the end of college, you won't know who you are to a full, but you'll have, you'll look back at freshman year and be like, hey, that's not who I was, and that's not who I am, and that's never who I wanted to be. And the person who I want to be, or the person who I am now, is the person who I've always wanted to be, and that's what you want to make of your 4 years. Thank you for watching the Trojan Advisory. We really appreciate you guys listening to our tips and tricks that we have for underclassmen, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, or even junior or senior. These tips might help you through your senior year, who knows? So yeah, we appreciate y'all for listening and even watching this video and taking your time out of your day to listen to what we have to say. We are very excited to graduate. We have just a couple more days, so we hope this all helps you guys. And yeah.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the show.